Here. Welcome to Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. Hey,
Hello.
hello, darling. We were
Well, I
talking.
have. Go ahead, please. Go
I
ahead.
said we were talking like friend Russia earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutamente, as they
Yeah.
say. Well, it's good to see you, Chuck. How have you been?
I've been doing just great. I've been making phone calls for you because I also work as your assistant. And I've had wonderful chances to talk to a lot of you people out there. I actually have voices to connect with the names now and personalities. And they're just, everybody's so warm and friendly and has great things to say for us and feedback. And I'm really appreciating it.
We are
They
lucky.
love us.
Yeah, we are
We love
lucky.
you right back.
Yeah, I mean, we are not the only ones that love weird news.
Oh, God. Yeah. Weird news. I bet you we have some stuff to talk about today.
We have a lot to talk about, but before we get started, if everybody could like, subscribe, or even think about being members, I know that Chuck would really appreciate it. Yeah.
Very much so. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I'm working on my own channel right now.
You know what I think about when I think about you and me, Chuck?
What's that? What do you think about?
I think about the fact that you and I have not changed much since we were little kids hanging out together.
You're right about that. And when you say little kids, you're talking about 8 years ago. We used to work together in Earth Bar, and we were always being reprimanded for talking too much. Remember? Like we were in kindergarten, and now we can talk all we damn well want.
Well, we love it. We love what we do. We
Yep.
love weird news. And unfortunately, the mic is going to not hear you when I'm talking, Chuck. So
Okay.
you're not being heard. But I'm just going to give a hello to everybody real fast and give a hi to Debbie Brady, the Dreams Coach. Be sure and if you are interested in finding out more about her work, if you have a channel you need to promote, etc., she's your person, Debbie Brady. She is also the talent manager for
Yeah.
the amazing Chuck Dransfield. Also want to give a shout out to our members, John Weber, Annie Hamlet, and Marion are in the house. Michelle Holt Hot is eating tacos as we speak. And of course, we want to give a warm hug to Joel Tilson. He is our official at this point floor person, our floor director. He is walking the virtual floor, making sure that everyone's questions are answered. So, Chuck, anything else you wanted to add to that?
Oh, what do I want to add to that? Well, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about my art?
Well, before we do that, I thought
Yeah.
we would talk a little bit about some of the announcements that are coming up, and then
Okay.
we'll do the empath prayer, and then I do want to talk about your art because it
Okay.
looks like you have something really. Who is that behind you, may I
Who's
ask?
that behind me? That is Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I thought for once I would show a living person this week. Everybody
Yeah,
thinks I only
awesome.
do dead people.
Yeah, and yeah, I will love to talk about that with you.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I just wanted to remind people of a couple things. We do have memberships. They start at the $2.99 level if you decide to be a member. The angels and the fairies, we get together on Saturdays and we do private readings for people. If you'd like to join us on Saturdays, our class to teach people heart-centered remote viewing, where you can get certified, is a 10-week course. This is the book Hands of Light that we will be using. We get together Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. If you can't make class, you can still get credit if you watch the tape. I think it's $9.99 at the Healers Empath level. We hope you can join us. The other thing I wanted to announce is that we are starting a new book for the month of September, Stumbling Toward Grace. Stumbling Toward Grace by the amazing Rosalia Scalia. And I know Chuck is waiting to get his book.
I'm waiting to get my copy, but I'm looking forward to it, just what I've heard already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All the selections we've done thus far. I have used them in my personal life already, the last two books. So I'm anxious to get started on this one.
Well, excuse me. Well, Stumbling Towards Grace is really about redemption. Mhm.
Yeah. Tell me more about it. In what respect?
Well, and say you have a dysfunctional family member like an alcoholic or an abuser, how they can tear a family apart, and then the
Oh,
victims begin to blame one another.
I'm going to need this book very much. I can already tell. And you know who I'm thinking of.
So, excuse me. So we'll often go back to our siblings, trying to heal those wounds, and with that comes a kind of grace and redemption. We forgive ourselves for being human in the face of maybe difficult circumstances.
Yeah, well, this sounds exciting. I can't wait to get started. I hope my copy comes this week.
Oh, it will. It will.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah,
Well, without further ado, would you like to hear the empath's prayer?
I would love to hear the empath's prayer. I say it
Okay,
myself all the time.
okay, so excuse me. So let's do the empath's prayer together.
Okay.
And
All right.
then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about mystical art. Does that work for you?
That works for me.
Okay. Okay, let's settle down, get some good vibes going.
Okay.
I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Amen, everyone.
I love that. I love the energy in that prayer. Did you make up that prayer, Whimsy? Is that your own prayer, your own creation?
I started writing a prayer. Excuse me. I started writing a prayer, and people requested certain things in the prayer, and so the prayer emerged from this group. The group wrote the prayer. It literally belongs to all of us.
Yeah.
But what one person said, even those we have issues with, I think it was Geocosmic Valentine. Yes, even those we have strife with. So it evolved from the community wrote this prayer.
Well, to me, it's a very love-centered prayer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, genuinely for the highest good, and that's why I've been doing it myself whenever I do my spirit writing, my own channeling now. I even say it now before I do a lot of my artwork.
Yeah. Can I ask you about the painting now? Because I know that you are a medium and that you can actually communicate with those who have passed, but you also communicate with the living.
Okay, in a case like this, I don't know if I did so much channeling like I would say with, say, Ella Fitzgerald, Olivia Newton-John, but I definitely could I always feel the essence of a person. I always feel that abstract element within the eyes, because I know it's a cliche to say the eyes are the windows of the soul, but they really are. Anything you ever want to know about a person is right there in their eyes. And what I saw with him was
Mike.
okay, I'm sorry. I saw a lot of poise from this man. It was similar to the poise I saw last week with Muhammad Ali. These men who are very masculine in what they project, but yet we believe in polarities, and they have that polarity of the feminine. And that's what I see in the eyes. I see the sensitivity, I see the poise, I see the gentleness with that strong masculine energy. I think that's one of the reasons why he's so effective in movies as an actor. He conveys that, and I think that's like this everyman quality that people look for. So I was definitely feeling that while I was doing this. You know, it's watercolor, colored pencil. It's my usual technique. It takes about.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're having trouble hearing you, Chuck.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. I have to remember to stay close to this microphone. I'm sorry, mic is not as sensitive as it should be. But anyway, I don't know if people heard that. I was just noticing the polarities in this man, the great sensitivity with the strong masculine. And I think that's why he's so effective as a movie actor, why people connect to him. I think that's a very universal thing when people can feel that in another person. And that was coming through as I was doing this portrait of him.
So I have a question about the actual piece. doesn't look to me like it's watercolor. Is this watercolor?
It's watercolor. My technique is to sketch it out, do many layers of watercolor. And then once that is done, I go over it with colored pencils. And it's the colored pencils that give me the extreme definition that I want and the refinement.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have one more question. Why was it this particular picture that you chose? Why was it this?
Whenever I do something like this, I go on the internet, I look for references pictures. I like this one. I like the friendliness. I like the warmth. I like to smile. I guess, for want of a better way of describing it, that's what pulled me to the picture. Sometimes I don't intellectually understand. I just intuitively am drawn to something. And I know that's what I want to do for art. And I felt it was a good picture of him. I thought it really showed his soul and his character.
I don't, does he live in Hawaii? He's not from Hawaii, right? Isn't he originally from somewhere else?
I don't know a lot about him, actually. I'm embarrassed to say. I'm not sure about that. Maybe our viewers
may actually be a member of the Samoan royal family. Am I wrong about this? That he's actually like a prince in his culture.
I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can chime in. Maybe someone out there knows.
I heard. And he's like a bigwig in his community, and then he went off and became an actor. I just think that's so cool. I love his energy. And I don't know if anyone has tried the ice cream brand. What is it? Straw and Salt. What is this? Straw and Salt. You know the ice cream brand? He is one of the investors, and it's the best ice cream.
I didn't know that. I've never tried that ice cream.
I'm
curious about it.
It's so amazing.
I'll have to look for it.
So what are people saying? Do people know the truth about?
Well, his father was a wrestler. His father's father was the royalty.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
Well, I just learned something very interesting there. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know.
Oh, so it doesn't pass through the patriarchy; it passes through the matrilineal, maybe.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure, but it was his father's father who was the royalty. So I guess I don't know if it's just the patriarchy or not.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
So, have you been keeping up with the latest in the news, Chuck?
I have. We both have, and pardon me here. I'll put that back because I have to be close to the microphone here. Where should we even begin?
I don't know if you've heard the latest. I mean, I don't even know if you want. Do people want to talk about this? I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But they are at it again, right? They are at it.
Oh
again.
Yes. Oh yes. To me, it's just such an act of desperation on McCarthy's part.
Yeah, so basically McCarthy is saying that they're going to do an impeachment inquiry on Biden.
Yeah. You know what intrigued me? I was just watching this on the news a little while ago. He was forced to admit he has no evidence, no direct evidence. It's all circumstantial. Did you know that, Whimsy?
Well, I'm a little baffled. What is Biden being accused of here? I mean,
okay, as I understand
being successful, being a good president.
Well, as I understand it, they're trying to tie it into Hunter Biden and trying to claim that President Biden was profiting in some way from this. It's really absurd.
Well, I heard, what I have read about it is that they are trying to link it to, they're looking at what we did with the impeachment with Trump, and they're saying, well, we're going to follow it. We're going to do what you did.
To me, it's like little kids going, nah, nah. It's just absurd. And I think it's going to collapse. And I hope it's going to blow up in McCarthy's face in particular.
Well, we can take a look. We can blitz away if you like to. What's the audience saying, Chuck? Well, what are people saying? Any feedback?
Let me see here. Congress, horrible. They're trying to impeach Biden. They've accused him of running the government. Circus time. Those are some comments we're getting here.
Chuck
uh,
reads it for me because I can't see.
okay. And
So,
I'm getting requests. Blitz away. Let's see. What should we ask here?
well, what's gonna happen with the impeachment? Is it gonna be successful? I mean, here's what I think before we get started, and I'll
Well,
let you talk to Chuck
I
about it.
just
But
I got a very quick no on that when I did the pendulum. It was like instant. They're not going to succeed with this. But what do you think?
well, I was going to say, I think that it's a scam to create a fake conspiracy, and then you keep saying it over and over again because that's how propaganda works. Because they're
Exactly.
trying to weaken his hold because they know they can't beat him without Trump. They can't they can't win a federal election for the presidency. According to, we did a remote on Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey Graham was crying, "Don't abandon Trump. He's the only hope we have for taking the presidency. We cannot get these people in rural areas to vote for squat." That, I mean, I I was him. I got it. I get it. I get it. So,
Yeah.
and he was crying, "But we'll never win again."
Mm-hmm.
The GOP candidates are sorry, but that's what it looked like. Uh,
Yeah.
the GOP candidates don't inspire these people to go to the voting pool
No.
and polls and also vote down ballot. Vote down ballot for this. Vote for the
Mm-hmm.
Senate. Vote for
Get harder to vote.
right.
Yeah.
And so what happened in Georgia? They couldn't get motivated, so they couldn't get this down ballot, which was the Senate, which is why they had two
Yeah.
Democratic senators in Georgia.
Exactly. As someone just said here, Congress should just actually do some work. Wouldn't that be an idea? You know? Um, and then on another note, the
Really
Democrats want to investigate Kushner.
It's like we shouldn't laugh, but it's starting to become like, what the hell does Congress do? They do work, don't they? I mean,
I would like to think they do. Well, our tax dollars at work.
Biden's in control. You know,
Oh,
it's
good.
like they're
Good.
playing jump rope, and this guy is playing grandmaster chess.
Yeah.
They're like playing checkers, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Biden is in master.
So puerile.
Oh, they're going to bet. Does he look vulnerable? Come on, he's the magician.
Does.
The other thing, you want to see his opposition? This is Biden. The Republicans are his opposition. Look,
Mm-hmm.
they're falling apart because you have Republicans who are going to meetings with Biden, and Biden is saying, you know, we can get some, excuse me, we can get some new contracts in Alabama. You interested in getting that new green contract? Well, if you don't want to talk, you don't want to. Well, no, we do want to talk. What do you mean? You can bring organic fertilizer business into Alabama and give us 10,000 new jobs. We do want to talk about that. Oh no, your speaker, he told me not to talk to you about that contract. Well, we do want to talk to that. What are you're giving away Alabama jobs and handing them over to Blue State, New Jersey? Why don't you give them to us? Because your friends, your colleagues over there that are the Republicans said that they didn't want to deal with me because I'm a Democrat. You see what starts to happen?
Yeah.
So the split happens.
Yeah. It's just, as people have noted, the GOP seems to be obviously about party over country. And hopefully people are starting to recognize that and wake up to that fact.
It'll fall apart.
Yeah.
Running back to the South.
As Rose Blue said, take out these Republicans. At one time, Congress will work better and faster. Well, that's what our elections are for. We'll see what's going to happen this year.
You know, it's at this time in our lives, you know, you would like to believe that we're all on the same page, right? That as Americans, we support the country. We don't want our enemies to get the better hand. Would you agree, Chuck?
I would agree with that. Absolutely.
So what the hell is happening with Elon Musk? Because we have government contracts with Elon Musk, and he is sabotaging U.S. interests.
It certainly appears that way.
Have you seen this? Let's. People want to take a look at this. This is just a brief glimpse at what happened when Rachel Maddow spoke to, I guess, Rowan Farrow, who, as we can see, he looks just like his father, Woody Allen. I am not going to go there. I said I would not go there.
I think everybody knows what you're thinking. But we won't go there.
So, yes, so basically he's being accused of...
To our understanding, I'd also point out the Financial Times, as this was happening, was doing good leading reporting about the outages in terms of coverage on the Ukrainian front lines. I talked to not just the officials you mentioned, but also Ukrainian soldiers on the ground who had the experience personally of being shocked as they attempted to advance in some of these critical areas where Russia was attempting to seize control, and as they lost the ability for commanders to communicate with troops on the front lines. So, you know, there are varying opinions about how directly that contributed to, for instance, potential loss of life. But everyone around this seems to agree what happened is, as you rendered it, and that there was a grievous consequence for people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me, Chuck. Help me. Help me understand.
Why? I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah,
no, I was just saying to you earlier, this is definitely something we want to do a blitz on. But what were you saying, Whimsy?
Here's what I want to understand since NAFTA and all these contracts that the federal government is giving to private businesses. If the private business or the foreign government that we are giving business to does not have U.S. interest at heart, why are we giving them our hard-earned tax dollars? This guy is taking money from the U.S. government, working for these satellites, working with defense, and he's working for the enemy. What the hell is this? Is the danger of privatization.
Yes, I can certainly agree with that. I think many of us can agree with that. But how do we even control this? Where do we even begin? Is it even possible to control, once the genie is out of the bottle, so to speak? These billionaires claiming power for themselves.
Don't you feel that he should be fired, that we should go? Why does he have this kind of power? That makes me uncomfortable.
Well, I can only think of there's money. There's money behind this. Now, where that money is all going, I can't say. But clearly, the money is what's powerful here, and I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's going to be fired.
Well, it scares me.
It does me too. Me too. We have good reason to be concerned. I don't like to see anybody with this much power for themselves, especially when they may not even be qualified.
Right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and see if the guy's going to get fired, because I want to know if we are going to potentially go with another satellite system or get rid of this. What kind of consequences, man? There need to be consequences, don't there? I mean, I'm freaking out from this. This is our tax dollars, and this guy is freaking helping the Russians?
Yeah.
This is the danger of privatization.
Yeah, it's like, where's the accountability here? Okay, no, Whimsy, I'm getting a no on that.
So he's not going to be fired?
I'm getting a no when I ask my pendulum.
Well,
no.
I don't like that.
Well, tell me, what are you getting with the cards?
He's really, well, there's the contract. Hold on a second.
Okay.
They have to make a decision because it's a security issue. It's been very profitable for the U.S. You can see the treasure trove that ever overflows with the U.S. Here's the contract with Musk. They feel like they had good security here in the U.S., but we are not the only ones that are buying his satellites. And so we don't have a lot of control over what's happening in Europe, according to these documents that I'm in. Well, we have a contract with him. So if he's going to act this way with his contract somewhere else, doesn't that affect us?
Of course it affects us. But, Elon has the technology the United States needs. And we would have to find a way to replace him, someone who who could provide a similar service. Is that even possible?
See, it's good times roll, 10 of cups with the contract. We made good money. We did. This is damn good system, but the judgment is coming down over him. So fire him as a CEO, get him out of there. Take away. He's a genius, man. His team is brilliant. Look at this. Masters over the contract. We simply feel he is the best. That's what they're saying. We are in a position of power. We can control it. Here's Biden. Biden in the 10 of cups is having a relationship with him. A judgment to control his actions there's a new contract coming out. Biden's going to be able to control his intellectual property if he wants to do business. He will not be happy with the decision. They're not firing him, but they're controlling his abilities. And I think the Three of Swords over the judgment because of Biden's presidency. There's Biden's cards. But look, they love the mastery, but they've got to control him.
Yeah. I just had a request here for you to read on whether Musk is really a wolf in sheep's clothing doing the bidding of you-know-who.
Let's take a look.
That's a good question.
A guy with low self-esteem who will go anywhere he thinks he's going to get praise and approval. The truth is coming out about him. Oh my God.
I'm getting a yes. What are you getting?
Oh my God. Oh my God, Elon Musk. Oi.
Yeah, I got a yes. Big
Rosh
yes.
Hashanah, Jewish New Year's. It comes Friday night. I already got a place planned for dinner. I'm going by the Reconstructionist. I'm very exciting. They have vegan option. The reason I'm saying this is because who by water and who by fire, it's all the account and the reckoning. It is coming. Time of year is when the karmic wheel reaches its completion, and then the paying of debts. Your karmic accounting and reckoning begins now. Who's going to make it through the winter? Did you pay your bills? Did you take who by water, who by fire? Take care of your business before September 15th. If you all do not go into that time karmically, the truth is coming out. Archangel Michael stands over Elon Musk, and he's got sneaky business. The secret man. Look at this. Lovers. He's handing over vital information to the enemy. That's not all. The feds are all over him. The feds know about it, and there's a internal raid of Elon's businesses.
Oh, well, I just had a question here. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Please go ahead.
I was going to say, we had a question here from Christine. Are the Tesla stockholders going to vote him off the board?
Haven't they done that already? Isn't he off the? I mean, what?
I'm not aware of that. I don't think so.
They said they want him out.
Yeah.
The feds are going in, and there's a federal raid of his intellectual properties coming.
Oh my God. Well, do you think this raid of so-called intellectual property is the government seizing his technology? That's the reason behind it?
They're seizing his private communications. They're starting with Twitter X.
Yeah.
They went in and they found some gnarly stuff going on with Trump's Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's not ending there. It's all because you can see moving very quickly the arc of truth. Here is Elon Musk. The secret man is grieving. This man with secrets. A pentacle is always a secrecy to the pentacle. There it is, the truth coming out. The star over lovers. He was moonlighting with the other.
Yeah. That's interesting, the Lovers card. I immediately thought that when you pulled it up.
Well, they're also saying that he's going to get a raid because you have the tower smash. They get inside his secret laboratory, and then Seven of Wands. He fights to get back. So he's going to get a raid.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder how quickly this is going to happen. I just had a question here. Can I ask with my pendulum if Elon Musk is a Gemini rising? I have no idea, but I'll ask it.
Seems like he would be.
Is Elon Musk a Gemini rising? I'm getting a no. I don't know whatever that's worth.
I'm getting an Earth sign, so Taurus maybe, or Capricorn.
Gemini. Yeah, what sign that is? Is that Earth?
Yeah, can you check to see if he's an Earth? I'm getting an Earth rising.
Earth rising. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I got a strong.
I'm getting Taurus or Capricorn.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's why he's facing criminal charges.
Yeah.
Talking to him, a judgment against him, possible charges by the Justice Department, facing jail.
You know, there's an interesting comment here from John about how the FBI seized Nikola Tesla's patents. And he's saying, yeah, sure, they can go after Elon's stuff too. They can they can legally do that. Oh.
Well, I didn't, what's the takeaway? What do you think is the takeaway? Because I know I have my opinion about what the takeaway is, like what I learned from this experience.
Yeah.
What did you learn?
I'm just assuming that the government is saying, don't F with me. We're not going to pay you anymore. We're not going to acquiesce to you. And we're going to take your technology and use it for ourselves. I mean, that's what's obvious.
Yeah, no man is above the law, right?
Yeah. Oh, Claudia said that he's a Cancer.
Rising is Cancer? Oh, I got an Earth sign.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that we were asked his rising sign.
I got that his rising was an Earth sign, but
yeah, but he's a Cancer, which I don't know how I feel about that because I'm a Cancer. Cancers are usually
I love
nice people.
Cancers.
Me too. I almost am ashamed he's one of us. But that's an interesting thing to see there.
In life, you can only go a handful of directions, Chuck. You can either go up or down, left or right, east or west. And if you're Putin, you can't go west. You can only go east.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody was on a choo-choo train from Moscow.
Oh my God. So this in the news, Putin was in North Korea. He was overlooking some of the factories. We talked about slave labor yesterday. And then Putin came back. And now the slow train, which is an old Soviet train, I guess, is a slow train is taking some version of Kim Jong-un to Moscow.
Yeah. I heard it was heavily armored, which is no surprise.
Well, yeah, I would think so. Do you think he's running out of options? Do you think
God,
he's
yes.
a desperate man?
I think it could not be more obvious how desperate he is that he's having to now go to the North Koreans for weapons. I think, if anything, it shows that all these sanctions are definitely taking effect. They're definitely choking him off, and he has nowhere to turn. Well, he has one place to turn, North Korea.
Yeah, and they're basically probably going to be using slave labor, which is, it's more horrible.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering how Kim Jong is going to benefit from this. He's not just going to be giving weapons out of the goodness of his heart.
Let's take a look. What is the audience saying?
Putin could turn around. Let's see. We had a mention here that Kim Jong-un is not going to Moscow. They are meeting in the East. I thought I saw in the news that it was going to be Moscow because Putin.
They did meet in the East, and they did. Putin.
Okay, so that already happened.
Yeah, that already happened, and now he's headed to Moscow.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I heard that Putin was going to pull out all the stops with pomp and circumstances and a big state dinner and roll out the red carpet.
But Putin was not at the G20. Putin was headed to North Korea. And then after that, from what I understand, then Kim Jong-un is headed to, if I'm not mistaken, Russia for a big state dinner.
Yes.
Well, let's see any future, what the future is. If we're, whoops.
Red light over there. Sorry about that, folks. On live.
Okay, it's just a light. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
So what do you think? Yes or no? Are we going to see successful weapons? Or I think it's posturing myself, because I don't think that the North Koreans can afford this.
I don't think they can either. I wasn't aware that they were doing that well at all right now.
Let's take a look. If maybe in exchange for supplying weapons and slaves, Russia will give them some food or aid of some type.
Okay.
So yeah.
Give them food, aid. Yeah. I'm getting a yes on that. But,
Me too.
Food, basic aid, they're in a lot of trouble right now, but does not seem equal to all those weapons. It's my understanding it's a big stockpile of weapons when the North and South Korea were still at odds with each other.
Wait a minute. There's a stockpile of weapons where?
In North Korea from the days of when there was all the hostility between North and South Korea.
Oh,
it's
okay.
my understanding that Putin is aware of that, and that's what he's going after now.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. I can see Putin giving aid. 6 of Pentacles is the aid card. So it could be that they've got this cheap slave labor making cheap weapons, etc. I know he was visiting one of those factories recently.
Yeah.
But you can see aid coming. It's a cheap way to get. I think it's not a bad idea if you're broke. Wagner bankrupted them $1 billion for this, that, and the other, which is one of the reasons they took out Wagner. Then they couldn't pay Wagner, so then he got taken out.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Every time I go into Putin's energy, he always says there can only be one top dog. And he said that it's like dogs are biting at my heels all the time. I get it, because they are dogs. I am surrounded by dogs, and everybody wants to be the top dog, and there can only be one top dog. So in answer to why do I keep killing all these people? Because they're dogs, and they want to be the top dog, and this cannot be. There can only be one top dog. I will be your friend so long as you understand that I am the top dog, and don't question my authority.
Yeah. It's let's see how this plays out.
Better for North Korea.
Well, David made the comment here about crap weapons. I was thinking the same thing. If these are old weapons going back decades, how effective are these going to be? They're going to be so antiquated. Against all the modern technology that the Ukraine is with now from the West.
6 of Wands, though, I mean, in a way, it's kind of a good thing for North Korea. In a way, I'm kind of happy for North Korea. 6 of Wands, fighting work is victorious. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like good. You're giving these people an income and you're giving them something to, do, because if it's gonna, at the very least, create some kind of more aid. They desperately need more aid. But you see what's also going on with Russia, and they're not doing good either.
No. What has it been now? 18 months of the sanctions. The ruble is like worth toilet paper right now. We're not hearing a lot about this, but I thought surely we'd be hearing stories of empty store shelves, people unable to get food, incomes drying up, businesses closing. I don't think we're getting the whole story.
Well, I think it's really that they're saying that there's plenty of food on the shelves from what the Russians are saying. The problem is that the ruble is so devalued, people really cannot afford to shop much. It's like an example would be herring, pickled. Herring is a common food there. And you can buy it where it's been gutted and cleaned and it's nice, and you pay 5 rubles, or you can get it where it's whole and you have to do the work yourself for 2 rubles. So go and you buy the fish that's 2 rubles and you clean it yourself. So everybody is making little shifts because everything has become so expensive.
Yeah, but I really thought it was going to be much worse right now, unless we're just not hearing everything that's going on. Yeah, what occurred to me when the sanctions began, I wondered if the real plan behind that was to get the Russian people
Oh, you're
so
cracking
angry.
up again. So,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay. Can
Yeah,
you hear
you're
me now?
cracking up. Yeah,
Is
go
it
ahead.
okay? I'm so
Yeah,
sorry about Mike. We got to fix this. But
I'll get you a new one. I'll get you a new one. It's okay.
okay, thank you. But I always thought the secret motivation behind these sanctions was to really anger the Russian people and to maybe even create a revolt internally against Putin, just from the Russian people. But I don't think that has happened yet, or if it will happen even.
Well, what happened was they lost their intellectuals. I mean, everybody left. I mean, the only people left are the people that couldn't leave or their diehard supporters, So,
Yeah.
So here is a bit of interesting news. Also, I thought a lot of people tell me what they want to talk about, and then I just bombard Chuck with all these articles and say, "Hey, Chuck, we can talk about this. We can talk about that." But here's one. So I got this in an email. People asked if we could talk about it. You folks tell us what to do. We are here to make you happy. But this was something that a few of you wanted to talk about. Is Judge Chudkin? Did I pronounce it right? Judge Chudkin?
I think you did. Yes.
Washington judge. Trump is asking her to recuse herself. She actually handled it very well. She actually sent it over to the DOJ, and she said, I will allow the DOJ to decide whether or not I should be recused. So people want to know, is she going to be recused? Is she going to stay on this case?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think she is. I think Trump is just scared shitless right now because, she convicted, 38 of the January 6th rioters, and she has a reputation for being an extremely tough judge, and she was appointed by Obama. I think she's Trump's worst nightmare. So of course he wants her removed. He's just grasping at straws right now, in my opinion.
So what exactly? Yeah. So what exactly is he being charged with? I mean, what is he up? What are all of the charges that he is being charged with in her courtroom?
Oh my goodness. I've lost track of how many felony charges there are, because was it a total of 91? I don't know how many are specifically pertaining to his case. Do you?
Well, let's do. I can't even. I mean, he's facing 500 years or more. I mean, like, who can keep track at this point? But
it's impossible. At least it is for me anyway. I'm sure there are people keeping track.
Well, I don't like this at all of her being taken off the case. That's crazy.
I don't think she is. I don't get the vibe that she is.
Did you check the pendulum? Let's check.
Yeah. Is she going to be taken up? I get a strong no.
Oh God, you're right. Let me check. She's such a good judge.
Yes, she is.
Whoa, she's very, very hardworking.
Yeah.
She's very singularly focused. Her work is her life. She is very much in keeping with the facts. The facts lead her. She is a strong judge. I can show them to you. Look at how she busts her ass. 10 of Wands over this judge.
Gee.
6 of Pentacles. She's merciful where she needs to be. Look at that. She's just a hardworking person who's like, these are the facts. I did the job, and this is the result.
She sounds like the antithesis of Trump.
Well, look at them. Prosecution is willing to make a deal. Look at that 2 of Cups over the defendant. She's not adverse to him doing a lesser plea, pleading guilty, if that's what prosecutors want.
Yeah.
Look at the family secrets they want. Look at this. This is the best example. If you're trying to learn tarot reading, this is the best example of the dark side of the 10 of Pentacles, which is the legacy card, which means dirty little family secrets. Your family has a secret. It can be, oh, I inherited a bunch of money. Oh, it's so great. I inherited. Well, who said it was good what you inherited? So, but there's an aspect to the 10 of Pentacles, which is, oh, the chit-chatting, dark little dirty family secrets. And then the 2 of Cups. Tell us what was going on at the Willard. We want more convictions.
Yes, we do. And I think we're going to get them. We're going to get a lot. I'm anxious to watch this unfold over the coming weeks and months. Tell me, Whimsy, you had said that you feel Trump is going to be behind bars sooner than we ever expect. Do you still feel that way? Do you feel?
I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine that he wouldn't. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess just give it good time. Yeah. It just occurred to me with all these court gag orders, not to talk about the case, not to talk to his, to the other witnesses. That's impossible for Trump. He's not going to be able to stay quiet. He could just shoot his mouth off at one of his rallies and probably be in jail the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The judge is strong. I concur with you. It would be very hard to take this judge out of there.
That's what I thought too. I got a strong no on that. Just looking here. Here's an interesting question. Will Ashton, Kushner, and Mila Kunas right out there being canceled because of the letter they wrote for Danny Cannon? I'm not totally familiar. Maybe we can check into that later.
Let's go ahead and we can take a look now. Let's take a look.
He joins us now with Mike Render, a former Church of Scientology senior executive and Remedies co-host of the podcast Fair Game. Thanks to both of you for being here. Leah, let me start with you. Variety reports that one of the accusers, identified as Jane Doe #1, testified, quote, "My understanding from Scientology my entire life was that you can never be a victim. Nothing ever happens to you that you didn't cause. No matter what condition you find yourself in life, no matter how horrible, you are responsible. You created that," unquote. Do you see Scientology itself on trial here in any way?
Well, it's not. Well, it should be on trial. They should have been a co-defendant in this case. Yes, Scientology policy should be looked at. Unfortunately, they have tax exemption. But however, this is absolutely true. It's absolutely law. It's absolutely policy of Scientology. I was a Scientologist most of my life, and Mike, the former head of the Office of Special Affairs. And that is not her understanding. That is the law of Scientology. We are not allowed to report crimes to the authorities. We're not allowed to sue each other. So that's absolute law.
Wow.
Yeah.
If it's the law, it's against the law, right? Because you have to report a crime.
Exactly. It's. I mean, I know we have to be careful in our language talking about the Church of Scientology, but there's no question how powerful they are, and the power they have over people. It's legendary, and I think there are a lot of people who are afraid to ever speak up, to ever report anything. I thought it was a tremendous act of bravery on Leia's part, because she wrote a book. I remember there was a 2-hour 2020 special. I was even, I'm going to say it, I was worried for her life when she did. Yeah, but I guess maybe she would have been too public of a target, but I just wondered what the repercussions were going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Ashton Kushner wrote a letter to the judge, asking the judge to be kind to Masterson because he was on time to set and polite, as if that makes up for the fact that he assaulted the genitalia of multiple women.
Exactly. That was
drugged and assaulted. I think when men hear rape, they think somebody's having a good time. No, their genitalia were violently assaulted while drugged. Does that sound like fun? I think people need to get with the program here. I mean, so he arrived on set on time, so therefore he shouldn't do prison time for assault.
Oh, I know. That's like saying any of us, we show up at our jobs on time in the morning. That's supposed to excuse a multitude of sins.
Well, let's look at does Ashton Kushner and his groomed wife, who he evidently started grooming when she was 14. That's another thing that started to come out.
Yeah.
This is just getting from bad to worse. Does Kushner have a future? Let's take a look in Hollywood.
Future.
You could argue that this is who they really were. You're just now seeing
You know what?
it.
I'm getting he's in trouble. I'm getting him. It's leaning toward no. He's in a shitload of trouble.
Yes!
What are you getting?
Yes, the
Go?
same
No.
thing. It's the time of the woman, baby. And remember, Queen of Wands is about territory. She comes up over and over again. If you're dealing with an issue of property, land, territory, my damn space. Get back off, mother.
Yeah.
That's the Queen of Wands. She teaches us to respect each other's space. His opposition is in the place of the Ten of Cups winning. He's under some kind of investigation himself with the feds for something. I know there's been allegations against him. His career is over. Four of Swords.
Yeah, I got a strong no there. That surprised me even. It was that definite. But here's a comment here. Ashton, Kushner, and Mila Kunas have an organization that people are starting to distrust because they supposedly protect victims.
Oh my God.
Protect victims. I think we got a big scandal. It's going to start unfolding. We're just seeing the beginnings of this. But I mean, I got to tell you, that surprised me. With the pendulum, it was so definite. I thought, well, because we're so used to Hollywood stars getting in a little trouble, getting away with it. He's not going to get away with this.
No, people are done. No one is above the law. This is the new energy. Nobody is above the law. Nobody gets to do whatever the hell they want. We all have to be accountable for our actions. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's
well,
a good.
I thought we would close with a little bit of weird news, Chuck.
Okay, a little levity here after all of this.
Did you have fun today?
I did. I always have fun with you. I love you.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a big important person in the UFO community has passed away. None other than, I believe it was Calvin Parker has passed. Yes, it was Calvin Parker. Do you know this story of Calvin Parker?
I'm not familiar with this, Whimsy. You have to fill me in on it.
He and Charles Hickson were abducted. And evidently, they drew a picture of the beings that abducted them, but they passed a polygraph test. It basically ruined their lives. I mean, it looks like Calvin Parker, he stuck to his story up until the very end. He said his life was ruined by it. His health was ruined.
Yeah.
He was completely marginalized. He underwent what was some type of a medical procedure. It was known as the Pascagoula River incident. But he is fondly remembered in the UFO community. And it must have been a hell of a terrifying experience. I think they've made several films about it, etc.
Yeah. I mean, vaguely I'm familiar, films, but definitely this is more your expertise, but that's something.
It's not my expertise. I mean, I just find these, I look for weird news. You know me, Chuck.
Yeah, I know you.
What do the audience think? Do they believe his story? Do they think that
let's see.
Making it up? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still getting comments about Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, really? What are they saying?
Well,
they have to say.
A comment here. Ashton lied about a murder, and it caused a murder to get away with it, and the murder struck again. That's a comment here. I don't.
I know that he was going to pick a girlfriend up from a date, and supposedly when he got to her house, she'd been murdered. And I guess he called his manager and agent. See, don't do that. If you come home or something and someone's dead in your living room, don't call Debbie first. I know, like Debbie would give you a pep talk. She would, but she would say, but she's former Pentagon lieutenant, right?
Yeah.
Say, Chuck, calm down and call the police.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I was going to say that reminds me of the old Hollywood days when the movie studios used to cover up scandals. Stars, when they'd get in trouble like that, would literally call their studio instead of calling the police. Like there was a story once about Bing Crosby drunk driving, and he struck a pedestrian.
Oh my God.
So he called the head of Paramount. What do I do? What do I do? And then they called the police. So that used to go on a lot. So apparently it's still going on today.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened to the guy. And then I guess he lied and said he did not go into the house. And he also delayed reporting. So the criminal had a head start. And so theoretically, had he immediately reported, gotten the police there, theoretically, they would have been able to have found the criminal sooner. But due to his concerns about his reputation and the fact that he didn't want his own whatever in the news, he sat on it and didn't go to the police for a full day and let somebody else discover the body.
That is immoral.
Well, I think it goes back to the reason why his career is over.
And what you were saying about karma coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you said, justice, truth, it's coming to light now. People are not getting away with things anymore. It's like a big spotlight is being shown on people. Wow. I mean, I'm still just
Horrified.
It is. It's horrifying. It's just, it's this idea, we've talked about this before, people in Hollywood, when you hit that upper 2%, you tend to think you have this power and you can live by your own rules. You make up your own rules, and that's not happening anymore. We're seeing that like with the SAG-AFTRA strike. The big Hollywood people, they're not getting away with their stuff anymore. It's not being allowed. People are saying, I've had enough.
And also I think we all can be like that. We can start believing our own crazy. We can start believing our own, look at me, look at us, we do Taco Tuesdays, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right, because we get to hang out
Shit,
on Tuesdays. Right? You can turn anything into important, right? Yeah. So and then the money starts to show up, and then you start believing all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah, and that seems to be the thing, money. As long as there's lots of money,
power, good looks, what's not to like?
Exactly. But that seems to be running out for people.
Yeah,
the new norm.
Well, did you have a good time, my dear?
I had a fabulous time. Mm-hmm. Always have a fabulous time. And people have just been saying the nicest things to us here in the comments. I've been looking at those. And,
you want to hear a couple of them before we close out?
See here. Let me go back here. Thank you, Whimsy and Chuck. I am a fan. Still getting the Ashton Kushner comments here. But if you want to talk about what nice things, fun time. Thank you, Dr. Whimsy. Fun time with Mr. Chuck. Have a good evening. Night, everybody. We could go into the Ashton Kushner, but I don't think we have the time to.
I think it's best. We will continue to talk about it.
I think we're going to have to talk about that another time.
Back to the SAG and the fact that labor is fighting. People are just revolted by all of this crap, and we just want to live our lives, be treated like human beings, be kind to all, so that all can be kind to you too. Right, Chuck?
Exactly.
All right. Awesome possum. Well, thank you, Chuck. And thank you to all of you at home who participated. Special gratitude to Joel Tilson, our floor director, to Debbie Brady, amazing director, manager. If you are interested in purchasing or commissioning any art from Chuck Dransfield, please reach out to Debbie Brady.
Oh, please.
And take care of that. I guess we will see everybody next week. And if you're in my class, I'll see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for class 2.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I had a great time.
I had a fabulous time.
Right.
Thank you. Love to you all.